our platinum sponsor, director, Mr. Charles Kare, Consumer Business Unit, Safaricom, the Teacher Service Commission CEO, Dr. Nancy Masharia, the Young Scientist Kenya Board,
and our distinguished guests.
Fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Young Scientist Kenya National Science and Technology Exhibition 2019. A round of applause.
Round of applause. Vocalize it as well. Fantastic. Today we are here gathered to officially kick off our second National Science and Technology Exhibition. We're launching it. We did an amazing job last year, and today we want to kick off again on an amazing foot for this year's exhibition. But to begin, before we get too far, we do have a few ground rules that we need to set out.
Yes, we do have a few ground rules before we continue.
My name, with the three of us here today.
My name is Omar Hamed. I'm from Jamhuri High School, and I'm also a young journalist from Toto News. A round of applause for me. Thanks.
And I'm Karen Cecilia Mikoma. I'm from Jawabu School, and I'm in grade 4, and I'm a young journalist from Toto News.
Round of applause.
My name is Karaganya Momlole. I'm in grade 6. I am not from Toto. No, I'm from Young Scientist Kenya. My name is Karaganya Momlole, and I'm here as well. Before I even ask for my round of applause, why are you not in school?
I am in school.
Ah, clever. Why are you not in class? He got me there.
Oh, I thought, like...
No. Principal, sir, please detention next week.
What?
Karen, it's good to have you here. Why are you not in school, though? Because this is important. Don't worry about it. Let me not put you on the spot for that. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we just want to go through ground rules. Karen, maybe if you can start us off with one or two so that our chief guests who've just arrived also know where to go for the washrooms and etc.
The washrooms are behind the security tent, and the breakfast area is right on my right.
We also have exhibition tents where the children are showcasing their machines, and we also have ushers who will guide you to everywhere you want to go. So if I can just see Vanessa, where are you, Vanessa? One of the ushers, okay, there she is, okay. She and another team of girls will show you to where you have to go, okay.
Beautifully branded in the YSK shirts that you cannot miss them. They will direct you anywhere you need to go. We also have 3 hashtags that we'll be using today on Twitter. Please do tweet as we go along. We have hashtag YSK 2019, hashtag Blaze Kenya, and hashtag YS Kenya. Please keep tweeting as we go along. I'll remind you of them. I'll keep updating you so that you get them correct and we make sure that this event is big on Twitter. The final rule, and this is the most important one, is our round of applause. We practiced this earlier. This is to our chief guest who came in a little later. We practiced this earlier. Everybody is aware. So if you'll allow me, if you'll indulge me, can we just ensure that it is at the level that we need it to be for the entire event? In 3, 2, 1, a dry run. Let's go.
Not really.
No.
No, they have said, not even me. My eyes were closed. I didn't. Our children are not happy with that.
Come on, this is the YSK exhibition. A round of applause, everyone. Yes.
Do you take that one, Karen? You're our final judge?
Yeah.
Okay, Karen has accepted to take that one. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we do want to move on with the program so that we can begin.
So I would love to invite the principal of Jamhuri High School, my principal, Sir Fred Award, to come and welcome all of us to Jamhuri High School. A round of applause.
Round of applause.
Round of applause.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, sometimes when you're welcomed like that by your students, you don't know what to say, but you want to really thank them. Our chief guest today, Dr. Desai, the PS TVET, the ambassadors for the French embassy, the Spanish government and the Irish government, The sponsors, Safaricom, represented here by their executive CEO, the vice chair, YSK, and board members who are here, members from NACOSTE, partners from the Global Peace Foundation who are here. We also have my friends who are joining us from Playpoint, and everybody who's here. Karibuni, amjambo. Now, mine is to be very brief and welcome you to Jamhuri High School. When Collins came and said we want to go to a STEM school, not a hotel, and we said it's okay, then they were choosing a school and they said we want to come to Jamhuri, and I said it's okay, you're always welcome. Please welcome, feel welcome in Jamhuri High School. For those who may not have known Jamhuri High School, we are a very old school, or can I say a very young school. We are only 115 years old, and we are going to celebrate that this year. And we are working towards that. This school, it's just good to know when you come to a STEM school, because we are the only boys' school chosen in Nairobi to be a STEM school. The other schools are Buruburu Girls and Precious Blood Riruta. So this school started in 1904 at the railway station after the Indians who were making the railway completed it, and now the growth was there, and they said we also want a school. And that time, the Prince of Wales Nairobi School had been built, and it is them who were building that, and they said we also want ours. So we came to this, the school moved to this present site in 1928, okay? 1928 is when it came to this site. And of course, it was then called Government Indian High School. Government Indian High School. It later changed to Government Asian High School in 1952. And then by that time, there was a duke, okay, one of the sons of the queen, who came here and had a passion for this school. And he was the Duke of Gloucester. And therefore, in 1953, this school was named the Duke of Gloucester. And our sister school is Pangani, which was also the Duchess of Gloucester. So what I've been asking my boys here, how come Pangani for 2 years have produced the top students, and us, who are their seniors, are just somewhere there? So they have given themselves a challenge that they also need to catch up. And after independence in 1963, the school was renamed Jamhuri High School to commemorate the independence of Kenya. So that is where the name Jamhuri comes in. There are only 3 institutions named Jamhuri. The Jamhuri Park, where the flag was hoisted, right? Jamhuri Park. And then next to Jamhuri Park, there's a Jamhuri Primary School, where sometimes people confuse where we are. So that Jamhuri Primary School, and they said we also need a secondary school, and that is our Jamhuri. At least now you know Jamhuri, isn't it so? Thank you very much. We are about 1,100 students. We have 8 streams in Form 1 and 2, and we have 6 streams in Form 3 and 4. And we are growing. You can see we have every available space for boarding, but we are hoping that with time, we can be able to expand our school. So feel very welcome to Jamhuri High School. And I just wanted also to just introduce one of the board members who happened to join us today, the Parents Association. Maybe can just welcome you on behalf of the Board of Management. Sir, just come and welcome the guests on behalf of the Board of Management, because this is a very important occasion for us. Mr. Collins Shikunyi, karibu.
Good morning, everybody. Glad that you've been able to find time to grace this occasion. Chief guests, the representative of the diplomatic corps, all guests who are seated and gracing this occasion. I first wish to make an apology for the board chair lady, Dr. Mumelo, who is bereaved, and she was not able to come to this occasion. Feel at home. The youngsters have put up a remarkable show. We must support them. You are very much welcome.
thank you very much. And I believe that with that, we can be able to progress on. And please, let this not be the last time you are coming here. Other partners, feel free. We want to be the standard in terms of STEM schools in this republic. I know we are lagging, but we want to assure you that as a fraternity, the boys have said they want to be the best robotics we can have, okay, in this country, and they have been very passionate about it, and we believe that we'll reach there with your support. And we also want to be a STEM model school so that other schools from within Nairobi and outside can come to Jamhuri and be able to benefit from what we are doing, especially in young scientists. And I also want to thank Madam Jaga, who has been a colleague here before moving. She was in Gara, and she's been very able chair of the KSF, and we want to thank her for promoting the science in this country. Our PS, there's just one thing that I want to mention here. And I think now that we are in it, we need to really look into the boy child, and especially in terms of science-oriented subjects. It is very disheartening that girls are now trying to perform better in science and mathematics, and yet when we were in school, we were doing better. So young men who are here and the other schools, I think Madam Chair KSF, we really need to put a lot of emphasis on the boy child. Our boy child, most of the time, they are now betting. And I think these things must be said. They are doing betting and doing all the things that are not helping us, right? Yet the girl child is always going to school. 70% of those going to university and toiling in the evenings, weekends, holidays are ladies. And I think it is time to catch up. MC, don't you think so? Thank you very much. Feel welcome.
A round of applause, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I invite our next speaker, when I said enthusiastic round of applause, not only when they finish, but also as they walk, right until they stand here and say hello. We make as much noise for them, we keep them excited, we keep them motivated. Let our round of applause be enthusiastic, energetic, and carry them all the way to the podium. Thank you very much for that, and for the welcome principal. Another round of applause for him, please. Thank you very much, Bwana Owor. I'd now like us to officially begin, now that we've had our warm welcome, to officially begin the program. And to do that, I'd like to invite Collins Munene, the National Director of Young Scientists Kenya. Oh, wait, Collins, let me just finish before you come. Sorry, Collins, sorry. Collins Munene, the National Director of Young... I want them to give you a good round of applause, Collins. That's the only thing. That's the only reason. The National Director of Young Scientists Kenya to invite a board representative, the Vice Chairman of the board, Dr. Moses Rugut, who's also the Director General of the National Commission for Science, Technology and Innovation, NACOSTI. Please, let us give Collins a warm round of applause and Dr. Rugut when he eventually invites him. Louder, a little louder, please, a little louder. Thank you. Thank you.
Our guest of honor, sir, our chairman and principal secretary, State Department Vocational Training, Technical Training, Dr. Kevit Desai, our ambassadors present, the Irish ambassador, High Excellency Ambassador Fionnuala Quinlan, Ambassador for France, Her Excellency Mrs. Ellen Costa Menega, Deputy Head of Mission, Spanish Embassy, Mr. Pablo Bielsa, our platinum sponsor, Safaricom led by Charles Carey. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Mine is just to do an honorable thing and a distinguished role of inviting our Vice Chair of the YSK Advisory Board, Dr. Moses Rugut, who not only is our Vice Chair, but he is a scientist. And this morning, our chairman really branded him a very good and interesting name, a long-lasting scientist. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome Dr. Rugut.
Thank you very much. When I was young, I never expected to be a scientist, but it happened. and I'm here. As you have heard, I'm the Director General of the National Commission for Science, Technology, and Innovation. When the idea of starting the YSK came in, it was an effort which we realized will strengthen the issues of the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in the country. We had been partners with the Kenya Science Engineering Forum, Engineering Fair, for quite some time, and we thought that this was a better cheek into the arm to create the YSK. As part of the effort to make sure that science activities are strengthened in the country, apart from what we are doing, the STEM monitoring and mentorship of girls in secondary school, in partnership with UNESCO and other partners, we have actually realized that we have to partner with both the secondary schools and even the lower school to strengthen the STEM. And so as part of that effort, the Cabinet Secretary of the Ministry of Education in early March did realize that we combined two activities, the normal science week, which we normally hold in May, and the young scientist, which was held in July last year, to come into the first week of August. And we'll be doing that from this year on, and it will be part of what we call the African Science Week, which is normally celebrated between August. A country chooses between August and December. We will be choosing August, and it will be our National Science Week. So there will be a heavy activity of YSK at the KICC on 5th to 8th of August. But we'll also be having some scientific functions, which I do not want to go into details with these, but together we invite you into this function. But why I'm here is I wanted to introduce the board of YSK. And wherever they are, please, if they could stand. You can see it is a diversity. I'll start from this side. Madam, you wave. Madam is also our chair of the Kenya Science Engineering Forum. And you know very well, she's also a high school teacher. She's now the head teacher of Moi Girls in Nairobi. Next to him, to her, sorry, shout the name again. Michael Wayaki. I know you'd want to say he's also a tree planter, but he's one of our board members. Next is Balozi herself, the ambassador of Ireland to the Republic of Kenya. Madam, you wave again. Let them see you. And next to her is the chair himself. He will be introduced later. Next is Mr. Darren, who is on the Irish business community in Kenya and sitting in the board. Thank you very much, Darren. Next will be a lady from Semester. Semester is Center for Mathematics in East and Central Africa. It's the one which actually teaches the teachers how to teach science. So thank you very much for representing the principal. Next is our coordinator of the Science Engineering Forum at the Ministry headquarters. Muiruri, thank you very much. He did his finals in April, and those mentors, those students who won will be exhibiting. Next, please, from Safaricom, Angela. Thank you very much for coming, and Safaricom is our partner. After that, my duty is done. One more, yes, our treasurer. Hello, there she is, our treasurer. Thank you very much, and she's from the private sector, and thank you very much, and of course there will be more partners. I'm told we need more partners, so please, you sign in today. With those few remarks, may I say thank you, and we welcome you to the Science Week 2019 in partnership with YSK 2019 from 5th to 8th of August this year. Thank you very much.
Can we give him, there were about 7 or 8 board members, so our round of applause has to be 7 or 8 times as loud as anything we have done today. Can we give them all a round of applause, please? Thank you. Thank you. I think I'd like to invite you back to the stage, Collins, to further up with our introductions and our invitations. Thank you. A round of applause for Collins. He's so quick. Before I can even finish, he's already here. Thank you, Collins.
Thank you very much, Karagania. I see you're doing well because you're still under probation and I'm the one who signs your contract. So you've done well. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinguished honor to invite the Irish ambassador to Kenya. For most of you that know, YSK really started through the success of what had happened in Ireland. For the last 55 years, this program has been very, very successful in Ireland, and it's now here with us, Young Scientist Kenya. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as you welcome Her Excellency, Madame Fionnuala Quinlan.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And before I start, I just want to say a word of congratulations to our two young journalists who I thought were fabulous this morning, and I'd say have really promising careers ahead of them as MCs or journalists or something certainly that's going to involve the public. I'm so happy to be here today for the media launch and the launch of Young Scientists Kenya. As Colin said, this journey started 54 years ago in Ireland when Young Scientists Ireland began. And over the years since then, almost 100,000 Irish students have actually gone and exhibited in a national exhibition like the one that we'll see in August. And I think it's important just to say a little word about what has happened to the winners of those competitions. Because I went back yesterday and had a look to see, well, where are they all now? And some of them went on to set up stock market listed companies. So, for example, the very first winner went on to California where he set up a company called Avigen that was listed on the stock market. A young man who won when he was 17 called Patrick Collison, he, at the age of 19, became a millionaire when he sold the technology from the Young Scientist competition to a Canadian company, and since then went up to set up a payments company called Stripe that is now worth $1 billion. Okay, so those are the headline people. What are all the others doing? Well, let me just tell you, they are making such fantastic contributions to their communities and to their countries and to the world as a whole. There's world-class researchers and scientists. There are doctors, pharmacists, veterinarians, teachers, of course, which is one of the most important jobs of all. So I just wanted to encourage those of you who are thinking of, or who are going to exhibit, to look ahead to the future and realize that, of course, you are the leaders of the future. And we, as the older generation, are pinning our hopes on you to solve some of the big problems that we have in the world today. And indeed, we saw that in the tents outside, where some students from around the world, or from around Kenya rather, are exhibiting projects where they're tackling crime in slum areas, where they're looking at boosting agricultural productivity, where they are looking at sustainability of energy by having an audit system. So these are some of the big problems that we're facing as a world, and it's just brilliant to think that the best minds in Kenya are now working on those issues and looking forward. I want to say a particular word about girls and young women. I was really, really heartened to see so many of the people outside in the tents were young women, because of course the world over, women tend to be underrepresented in STEM subjects, and there's really no reason for that at all. So just to encourage more and more girls to get involved. Finally, I just want to say a few words of thanks, because really, we started back in 2017. The first exhibition was last year. My colleagues managed to reach 10 counties. This year they've scaled it up to all 47 counties. Well, I mean, you have to do that when the President of Kenya says we want this rolled out nationally by next year. What do you say? You just say, yes, President, and you get it done. But to say that only happened through the fantastic partnerships that we have here, the hard work of people like Collins and his team. And also I want to say a particular word of thanks to PS Desai, to Nacosti, represented here by Dr. Moses, who we just heard from, Dr. Moses Rugut, Semestia, the Kenya Innovation Agency, Safaricom, of course, who were our principal sponsor and really have been an enormous support. All of the teachers and the students and the mentors who are really the ones at the front line making this happen. To my colleagues, of course, my very esteemed French colleague, Aileen Custer-Ménager, who joined us today, the Ambassador of France, and Pedro Desportes from the Spanish Embassy. We were so pleased that you could be with us, and we thank you for your support. And finally, let me thank all of the people at Jamhuri High School for the fabulous breakfast they put on for us this morning and the very warm welcome. So without further ado, I think I'm going to hand back to our MC and just to say thank you all again very much.
Can we give Her Excellency another round of applause, please? Another round of applause. Thank you, thank you. She's come all the way from Ireland, so let's let her know how we give applause here in Kenya. Thank you very much. I'm going to re-invite Collins. There's going to be a lot of this today. He's here already. Collins will invite our next ambassador as well. Thank you, Collins. Please give him a round of applause, despite him already being here.
Thank you very much, Balozi. Again, it is my distinguished honor to invite the ambassador for France to Kenya. We are really, really privileged to have both Ireland, France, and Spain here with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please put your hands together as we welcome Her Excellency, Mrs. Elaine Kustamenyewe.
Bonjour. Distinguished Principal Secretary Kevin Desai, distinguished members of the board of Young Scientists Kenya, my dear friend, the Irish Ambassador, Fionuala. Thank you for inviting me as a French ambassador to join you today. It's very inspiring to see so many young people, girls and boys, to contribute to science and to start from a young age. And then we hope that we will join the big number of scientists we try to push also in our cooperation. The French Embassy has been a partner of this Young Scientists Kenya since 2018. Two representatives of the embassy were part of the judge of the first edition, and the embassy also supported YSK to develop its activities and of vulgarization and promotion of sciences and innovation for an audience of Kenyan high school students. It's important for us to push science. It's part of our big priorities. And over the past 10 years, France has come higher and higher to bring support to education in science and to scientists in Kenya. We had a framework agreement between our research institutes in Kenya, which there are three, IFRA, IRD, and CIRAD. It has been renewed during the presidential visits, and it frames the activities of our cooperation between the embassy, these research institutes, and the Minister of Education. We also have, in 2015, a MOU creating a research partnership, which we call Uber Curien, and in Kenya we call it PAMOJA, which allows the cross-mobility of researchers around common scientific projects. The idea is really to promote common research between our scientists and the Kenyan scientists, in particular in response to major global challenges, climate change, desertification, preservation of biodiversity, and to foster innovation. We indeed want to go on with our support to Young Scientists Kenya, and it's the first time I'm here, but I'm convinced that it's the right way to go. I would personally like to encourage our French school in Nairobi to join the program. I have to explain to them what it is, but it would be very nice for me to have these young French pupils together with their Kenyan counterpart. And I would like also to mention another event that is to come. It is called the Next Einstein Forum. It will happen in 2020. It is the largest science and innovation gathering on the African continent, and it will take place in Nairobi. We would like to be a partner of this forum, and I think it's also a good way for YSK to show what they're doing and to join this African move for science. Thank you.
Can we give our ambassador all the way from France another round of applause, please? Merci beaucoup, Madame Ambassadeur. I just wanted to throw a little French a little bit. Sorry, it felt appropriate. Before I re-invite Collins to invite our next speaker, we do have the presence of several schools. Aside from Jamhuri, we have SCLP Samaj. I think 2 girls from there. Can you make some noise, girls, the 2 of you? Yay, thank you. We have Ndururuno Secondary School. Can our students from Ndururu make some noise? Thank you. We have Nakuru High School students as well. Can we make some noise? Our boys, where are they? No, we need to hear you. You won the exhibition, so we just need to hear your voice a little bit. Can we make some noise, Nakuru High School? Thank you. We also have Mary Hill Girls. Mary Hill Girls, are you in attendance? No, don't be shy. Nobody can see you. Nobody will know who made the noise. You can just make as much noise as you want. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Okay, a large contingency from there. And last but not least, Jamhuri Boys High School. Are you guys in the building? Yes. Fantastic. Our next speaker is from one of our premium sponsors. So maybe, and this is to the students, if you make a lot of noise, we might get free airtime. I don't know. I can't make that promise. But please help me welcome back to the stage Collins Monene to invite our premium sponsor from Safaricom to give his remarks. Round of applause for Collins, please.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Young Scientists Kenya was really formed, is an initiative between the Ministry of Education, which is our government of Kenya, and the Irish government through the embassy. But this is not only possible without public and private partnership with great partners that we have around. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to welcome our platinum sponsor, Safaricom Blaze, led by the director, Mr. Charles Curry. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give a hand to Mr. Charles Curry as he comes up. We may need an extra mic because of his height.
Morning, everyone. To acknowledge the presence of all our distinguished guests, to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Desai, who is the PS for the TVET, to acknowledge the presence of our ambassadorial colleagues from the Ireland Embassy, the French Embassy, and the Spanish Embassy. To the YSK board, who have done an amazing job of actually bringing this vision to life in the last couple of years, from it being a dream to actually coming true. To the students who are here today, this is actually your event. We are actually just walking the journey to support you. And to all other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome all. I was just actually reflecting earlier on today about where this journey started, and the meeting that we had, I think, in the office. I think Dr. O'Neill, I remember Dr. Rugut was there, Mr. Moirore. I'm trying to remember the couple of other old faces. Well, that time YSK was just it was a dream. It was basically a dream, and I think we should all be proud that actually the dream has come true. Last year was a great milestone. This year is even going to be, a greater milestone. When we think about why is Safaricom involved in this particular, program, we pride ourselves in being what we call a purpose-driven, company. We've defined our purpose very simply. Our purpose is basically to transform lives of the country, of the community that we serve. When we talk about transforming lives, we define it in 3 simple, pillars. It's about how do we make, people-to-people connections better? How do we help people, connect people to opportunity? And how do we connect people to knowledge? When you think about the YSK, what you're trying to do with the Young Scientists program, it fits very well around the issue of, connecting people to opportunity and connecting people to knowledge. In 2016, we signed up to a couple of, SDGs. Again, when you think about the, what you're doing with the YSK, it supports very well, because we know that education is one of those equalizers in terms of moving people from, a lower income strata to a higher income, strata. It's one of those pillars which help you basically reduce the gender inequality. When we, also for us, the future of the company is dependent on the future of the young people. Yeah, so for us to get involved in the future of the young people is actually it's a very sustainable, business, opportunity, because the more the young people do better, the more the future of Safaricom is assured into the next generation. So we partner with the YSK via our, we have a brand called Blaze by Safaricom, which is an exclusively youth network, which basically, supports what we do with the young people around working with them, the journey around the products, what we do with them for mentorship, what we do with them, around the opportunities. We are proud about the, the progress that we made this year. Last year, I think it was a trial, and it's good. We always say in the private sector that, start something. Once you start something, you'll always make a baby step. I think last year was, was a great baby step. We went around to 10 counties. I think we engaged 80 schools. Given the challenge that we were given by His Excellency the President in the last national exhibition about moving from the next baby step to actually going nationwide, I'm proud to say that the YSK board, the Safaricom team, the great partnership have actually made this dream come true. We've actually gone around to 200 kids in the country, which means nearly 40,000 students have been engaged around STEM, making STEM cool. If you think through what the impact this will have if we continue this journey in the next 5 or 10 years, you can just see the transformative impact that this will have in our country. In going around the schools, we've been amazed around the different projects that have been showcased. In the Turkana County, the team which went to do the community outreach was amazed to find that basically there was a young student by the name Musli in St. Kevin's school, who basically has created a model robotics trucks. And his vision is basically how do we automate the transportation industry in support of the Big Four agenda. This basically confirms that the dreams are not limited. We like what Eliud Kipchoge says. No one is limited. Everyone has the potential to be great. So we're proud about the journey that we've worked with the YSK this year. We're proud about the work that actually the board has done to bring this dream to come true. We are proud about the progress of engaging much more students from last year, from engaging only 80 schools to 200 schools. We are proud that this year we are going to have 500 exhibitors all the way from 160 visitors last year. And we always say in Safaricom, when we come together, great things happen. Thank you.
Wow, wow. A round of applause, a round of applause. Another round of applause for platinum sponsor of Safaricom, Mr. Charles Carey. A big round of applause, a big round of applause. Okay. Okay, so yeah, as you've heard, they're making a lot, a lot of partnerships in order to nurture students in their biological, ecological sciences, in order to enhance their inventions. So,
Omar, before we even move on to the next, I just wanted to remind everybody again about our hashtags.
Okay, our hashtag. We are using the hashtag YSK Kenya. We're also using the hashtag Young Scientist Kenya. And then you can also find us in all the social media platforms at YSK Kenya.
Indeed, there's one more as well. I was just been given hashtag Blaze YSK.
Hashtag Blaze YSK. You've heard it. Hashtag Blaze YSK. And now I would love to invite Wilson Irungu and Abdirahman Sheikh Ali in order to give their remarks from the 2018 YSK students. They are the winning YSK 2018 students. Please, a round of applause. A round of applause as they come. A round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Abdirahman Sheikh, the Young Scientist Winner 2018. And I just want to talk about an overview of what we have done. It's over there. You can come and visit and we'll show you. So it's basically a meter, an energy meter that measures the electrical consumption parameters of every load in the house. And you're able to see how much power does each load in the house consume and you're able to control all the devices in the house by just using a phone. So with that system, it works with both the alternating current and the DC. So whenever you feel like you want to switch to the solar, you also switch on using your phone or your laptop. So with such a system, by the end of the month, you're able to know which device has made you pay such a high bill, and you're able to control all the devices, and you're able to reduce the bill by the end of the month. It works it's applicable in industries and as well as home, because sometimes you see that you go to work and you leave all the devices in the house, like the TV switched on, and there's no way you can come back to the house and just to switch off a TV. So you need such a system so that you can switch off all the devices whenever you are far from home, or let's say there's something fishy going on in the house and you want to know whatever that's happening. So you can switch on. And in some cases, like especially in slums or areas near to slums, you see that there's somebody just comes and connects illegally to your house, so you incur an additional cost for that person. With such a system, you're able to know any illegal connection that has been done in the house. So it's efficient compared to the normal meters that you have.
So good morning once again.
Morning.
So I'm here for two reasons. One is to appreciate what the YSK is doing, and the second thing is to challenge the young minds of Kenya. So I may recall of some scenarios in the school when I was in Form 2. There's the many students coming up with the ideas and projects, but okay, what they used to say, it usually ends up at the regionals, you know. Like you go back to your home with your idea, with your project, and it ends there. But I want to challenge, want to appreciate what the YSK is doing. Having won the YSK exhibition 2018, we had a trip to the Republic of Ireland, where it was quite a good experience that was good. But let me say, what I discovered there is that they have invested in the minds of young people, very much so, and that's what has boosted their development here in Kenya. So one challenge us to the Kenyan people, it's a privilege that there's at least a platform which can boost your ideas, invest in your ideas, where you know the young people, you are able to identify the problems that you are facing around your environment, then come up with the solutions. Still there's a platform which can support you in that. So just my challenge, wake up, be active, utilize the chance that the YSK is giving us, so that as a country you can be able to forge forward and at least get some solutions for the problems that you have. You have the Big Four agenda, the Vision 2030 is here. It's us, the young people, with our minds, the solutions to the problems we are facing so far. Let's utilize the chance that the YSK platform is giving us, so that we may actually turn maybe our ideas into real solutions to the problems that we are facing. Once again, thank you to the YSK for the good thing that they're doing to promote the minds of young people. And it was really a good experience to go and meet, maybe go abroad, travel, and get to interact with what the other scientists are doing. As a country, I might say that we are very privileged to have you, and continue doing the good work. Thank you.
A round of applause for them, a round of applause. The YSK 2018 winners who won last year. Another round of applause for them, please. Another round of applause. Thank you so much.
Was that enough for you, Omar?
Yeah,
you're satisfied with that one?
Yeah.
Karen, are you satisfied with that round of applause?
Not really.
You see? Please, one more round of applause for them. Woo, vocalize. Thank you. Whoever's shouting, I applaud you as well. Thank you very much. One, two quick announcements before we move on to the next part of the program. I'd like to also recognize the presence of the Sub-County Director of Education for Sterehe Sub-County, Madam Julia Komunga. Thank you for joining us. A round of applause for her, please. And we have also been joined by the Regional Director of Education for Nairobi Region, Mr. Obiero. A round of applause. There he is. Thank you. Thank you. This is a quick announcement on vehicles. So please, if you hear your vehicle name, you are blocking somebody who needs to leave urgently. KBM 028E, KAS 150U, KBJ 292M, KCP 068S, 81CD3K. Sorry. And KCQ558H. We will close our eyes if you're to stand up, so we don't know who was responsible for blocking anybody, and we can continue on very, very smoothly. It is now my honor, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you a video that will showcase all the work that we have done as Young Scientists Kenya in 2019. It is a summary, succinct summary of everything that we've done, all the hard work we've put into this year's effort, all the 40 plus counties we have reached. Are you all ready for this? Only 2 people said yes. And we won't start it until everybody says yes. Oh, we won't. No, I promise you, we're not starting it. We're going to go back. Yeah. Are you all ready for this? Do you have your popcorns in front of you? I heard some no's. Who does not have popcorn? We can organize for that to be brought to you. Our caterers are doing a fantastic job. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention towards the screens. We do have a video that will showcase everything we have done in 5. We can count down together. 5, 4, 3.
And today we are at Kitui County to launch Young Scientists Kenya outreach program. Really, Young Scientists Kenya is a program geared towards STEM, making STEM accessible to all. And really, what is STEM? STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And we want to make it accessible to all.
Today we are so grateful to have young scientists of Kenya in Garissa County, specifically in Girls. And it's a humbling opportunity to have our children and our girls and boys mentored by great scientists. Children in this county specifically are so very much talented, but they are lacking opportunities, they're lacking platforms so that they can upscale or they can develop their talents. And it's a great opportunity when we have young people like them, inspiring them and telling them that they are very much able to do so.
Sisi wote tumesimama tuko kwa Blaze. So,
as Blaze, we hope to inspire these young minds to take on careers that probably do not exist, unconventional careers that do not exist. And this is by looking around the communities, around where it is that they're living and learning, and finding solutions to problems that they are currently faced with. Our promise then is to provide them access to the mentors, to the technology, to the tools that they would require to bring these ideas to life and turn them into tangible solutions.
The future is all about you. You are the leaders of tomorrow, and the issues and problems that you face in your life now can be the spark for the innovations of tomorrow. Science, technology, engineering, and maths needs your skills, and you're just as good at it as anybody else.
It is not an issue of capacity or the brains. The brains, we have them. So we just need to be able to be more creative and take opportunities as they come to us.
I think it would be a great thing if Kenya relied on their young scientists. In 4 or 5 years' time, 6 years' time, 7 years' time, we want you to be the face of young scientists.
And science, technology, and innovation are very important and one of the biggest enablers and priority sectors for the transformation of the country.
And an innovation is what can change a societal need. That is what an innovation is.
We're absolutely delighted to be here today at the launch of the boot camp, which has seen all of the winners from the 2018 inaugural YSK national competition come together to learn about how to bring their projects to fruition, how to commercialize their projects, to patent and protect them, to learn about different ways of pitching and marketing and seeking investment for their ideas, which we hope will go on to become very commercially viable companies.
There's so many opportunities for even the YSK members who would want to be journalists in future. Because look here, in this country, we don't have so many programs to do with sciences, with physics, with mathematics. And we also want to make people know what happens in that world.
Disability is not inability. We can make it so long as your brain is working, so long as you can think like any other person.
My name is Net Mogora. I am at the boot camp of YSK 2019. It's been such a great experience. So last year I gave a speech, and afterwards I was told to go and greet the president. It was such an honor. He congratulated me on my speech, and I look forward to working with such great people again.
Let's all give a warm welcome to the boss of YSK, Collins Munene.
Thank you very much, boss. You are the boss. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to take you through the journey of YSK. In 2017, the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Government of Ireland, with its embassy in Kenya, with support from Brule's Safaricom and other partners, launched an annual science competition known as Young Scientist Kenya. Young Scientist Kenya is the premier competition for science and technology. And it's really aimed at encouraging students to take science, to excel in science, and to use science to find our own solutions. So ladies and gentlemen, this has turned out to be a movement, not just an idea, but really a movement with three main objectives. The first objective is to inspire interest in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics pathways. The second and most important one is really to help our students, our young people, to showcase scientific research, technology, and innovation, not only at a very local level, but to create a national platform where this is now evident, not only just to their own localities, but to the entire nation and entire world. And third and most important is really the connectivity of the STEM learning community and the community of practice. And that is why we are saying, and we will always say, that this is a public and private partnership where we bring in the academia, organizations like Safaricom, and many other organizations to ensure that STEM becomes accessible to all. Young Scientist Kenya has an independent board, which was introduced a little earlier, led by the able PS, Dr. Kevit Desai, and Vice Chair, Dr. Moses Rogut, and it has a fully functional secretariat. Well, just to go through what they had envisioned when Charles and a few colleagues sat a few years back. What was this? What did they envision YSK to be? For a very long time, what used to be Kenya Science Congress has been going on and has been very, very successful, which a few years later got rebranded to Kenya Science and Engineering Firm. The Young Scientist idea came in to complement the good work of KSEF so that there is value add and to ensure that these projects not only just get a platform on a national exhibition, but there is the continuity of making sure that these projects and these great ideas come from just being ideas to become products and services and businesses to, one, find our solutions, but also to create employment and most importantly, most recently, to address the Big Four agenda. So if you look at the slide, which is probably not clear, it is Young Scientist is now the premier science competition where it brings in all these science fairs, including KSEF, innovative grassroots, even interesting enough TVETs, technical institutions, and universities to really showcase what innovation science can do. And it's all this is culminated in a national exhibition, which also happens to happen in the same week as the National Science Week. So the rollout plan was in 3 phases. One, in 2018, we were to cover 10 counties. I am happy to report, Chair, we covered 10 counties, 82 schools, 93 projects to be showcased, and 182 students exhibiting, reaching to about 10,000 students countrywide, and a total of 45 million in totality. I am happy to report the first phase really happened. Now the challenge came in the second phase, where His Excellency the President, who is also the patron, was so excited about this great movement of young people and young scientists in creating ideas and finding solutions, and the connectivity and the commercialization of these projects, and said, I want this to be a national movement, not only for just 10 counties, but 47 counties. I am happy to report, as of this coming weekend, we will have covered all the 47 counties in the entire country, reaching a total of close to 40,000 students across the country, in Pokot, in Garissa, in Mandera, in Madare, in Korogosho, everywhere Young Scientist has been present, really to encourage and spur interest in science. I am also happy to report that this is going to be a special national science exhibition. In the last year, we only had 1 special needs school. This year, because of the inclusivity and the challenge to reach each and every young person in the country, we have 13 physically special needs schools that are actually going to exhibit in the national exhibition from August the 6th to the 9th. We'll have a total of more than 200 schools present, exhibiting. More than 200 projects will be showcased, and more than 500 students will be showcasing some of these projects. We have a big challenge. 2022, we have to sustain this. And we can't do this as YSK, the embassies, and Safaricom. We need to do this with all of you. We need to do this with Strathmore. We need to do this with Concern International. We need to do this with the media. We need to do this with our government. This needs to be a collective effort to ensure that we sustain all the 47 counties, reaching out to close to 130 million. Can you imagine a movement reaching out to 130 million, encouraging science, innovations, encouraging these young people to partake science, so that this become ideas that not only just stay in the books and in exhibition, but ideas that can actually come to resolve some of our problems. Our activity map, just to highlight some of the activities that were envisioned or that we're working on. One is really to bring together the industry, a STEM industry partnership, working with everybody involved in STEM, creating linkages with mentors in schools, both public and private. The second, which is most important, is a teacher recognition program. And we are happy to report that we're working with Semestia, Center for Mathematics and Science in East Africa, that as we go out to mentor our young people as YSK, they have really come in to try and take that teacher support system and build capacity so that science becomes an ecosystem, not just in students alone, but teachers who have been great support. Number 3, STEM subjects and career, encouraging students to partake science, and by this, encouraging mentorship, building capacity, having a boot camp, which I'm going to explain a little bit later where how do we protect these ideas, and really how do we build these ideas to become solutions. And most importantly, what we're doing today, public engagement on STEM. This should be a public affair where each and every one of us needs to be involved. So quickly, just to run through the accomplishment in 2018, it was a pilot of 10 counties, 82 schools, 92 projects were exhibited, 184 students, and about 10,000 students were reached out. In 2029, where we had the scale-up, went out to all the 47 counties. We will have over 185 schools. That number has actually changed as of last night. It has actually more than 200 projects will be showcased, reaching with students about 470 students will be exhibiting, reaching to about 45,000 students across. This has to be sustained. Moving forward, just showing you in the map of Kenya where we have been. The orange is our pilot, the 10 counties. The green is what we have been doing and where we have been. We still have 2 counties, ladies and gentlemen, which we are still in discussions, and we are hoping by the time the exhibition comes, we will have reached out. We have been in informal settlements, Kibera, Kawangware, Korogosho, Mukuru. One of the schools that is actually exhibiting outside there, Andururuno, is actually from informal settlements. And you can see the great innovative ideas that really come from our communities. We have been to Kariobangi. We have been to arid and semi-arid areas. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to report that this year is even more special. All the arid and semi-arid areas are going to be represented at the annual Science and Technology Exhibition 2019. Marsabit, Turkana, West Pokot, Moyale, Garissa, Tana River, all those students, all those projects will be represented. Just a couple more slides. This is, next slide is in Turkana, where we will have projects from Turkana, from young boys from Turkana. We will have projects from Garissa, and most importantly, the interest of girls in STEM. This is one of our biggest pillars that we are really pushing, that traditionally science has always been looked at a male-dominated field. But I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the very successful career women, most of them are scientists. Most of them are scientists. So we're really pushing for girls in science. We've got great reception in science. And actually, we have a proportion of about 50-50 on all the exhibitions that are coming between boys and girls, 50-50 boys and girls representation. One thing that is really passionate to me is that last year we had 1 special school. This year we have 13 different schools cut across from all the different counties that are going to be represented. The next 2 slides just show the schedule of where we have been, the various counties that we have been for the last few months. As we lead up to the media launch this year, it is also important to remember where we came from. Last year we had our first media launch, which was very, very successful. And we are hoping this one is yet to be another great successful media launch that leads up to the second YSK National Science and Technology Fair. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to say I am very privileged as a national director, because I have a great team of people at the advisory board. I have a great team of people at the secretariat. We have great partnership from the Irish Embassy, French, and various other institutions like Nacosti and Semestia. But it's even much better when you say that the president is actually the patron of an organization you're leading. I don't know how many can say that. Maybe our chairman, because that's who he reports to. But ladies and gentlemen, we're very delighted to have His Excellency the President as our patron. And not so much about him being the president, but so much about him ensuring that the big four agendas are really carved from science and innovation. When you look at the big four agendas, for example, manufacturing, it's all about creativity. It's all about innovation. How do we innovate our manufacturing industry so that it becomes a pillar? Food security. There was a very interesting project in Turkana where the boys, you may not imagine from Turkana, had this great project, a robotic project on how to solve famine in Turkana. So these are some of the ideas that Young Scientist is looking to ensure that we give a platform for these great ideas across our country to showcase and to use the same to solve our own problems, but also build in to the Big Four and the Vision 20. Ladies and gentlemen, the next slide is just a map of where all the schools that are exhibiting are going to show to be at. Before that, a lot of the work that is done at Young Scientist is through volunteer. A lot of our judges, actually 100% of our judges are volunteers, and are volunteers from public and private sector, from the academia and private sector. We are still asking for more judges, Professor. You've given us some judges. We are asking organizations that are here and your colleagues, we are asking for judges so that we can come, look at these ideas, support these young people, and be part and parcel of this great movement. So moving along, so this is a project that is being judged, young girls exhibiting. We have winners which we have seen in various pictures, but really this needs to be a linkage between public and private partnership. This cannot happen without that, and we are calling upon you. So some key important dates that I would like to bring to your attention is that on August the 6th to the 9th is when we are having our second annual exhibition. This is in partnership with the National Science Week, which is actually going to begin on the 5th to the 9th. So the reason why this is done, and you may ask, why is this done, is because we need to ensure that there is proper management of our resources. So we need to ensure that as the National Science Week is going on, the Young Scientist exhibition is going on, and complementing each other and bringing in that STEM connectivity, not only from primary school, secondary schools, which YSK is really invested in, but also our academic and higher learning institutions and TVET, where there will be a lot of connectivity between that. This is also an opportunity of public engagement to really understand science and to engage so that we can find solutions. So we are asking, and it's my plea, that I will see these faces from the 6th to the 9th. Do you promise me? Thank you very much. So what happens? That's the question. What happens? Great ideas, we have winners, they get to see the president, they get to talk to the president, they get awarded, they go to Ireland. What happens? Any idea what happens? Silence. Products. So Young Scientist Kenya is invested also in what we call a business bootcamp. And this business bootcamp is really to get all these great ideas, all these winners together in a workshop where they go through a series of skills building and capacity building sessions, intellectual property lessons, so that we ensure that, one, these projects are well connected to the industry outside, where we invite you also as public and private partners to come in and look at this project and see how we can build these projects from just ideas to becoming solutions. So in December, from the 2nd to the 5th, we have a boot camp, and we will still ask you to come in. We will still ask for your support so that we ensure that these ideas not only just sit at the exhibition, but are actually actualized and are actually connected to finding solutions, not only to our world, but your own institutions, but also to create employment for these young people and our economy. So as I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make an appeal to you. This is not going to be possible without your support. As you leave today, there will be a sign-up sheet, and we are appealing to you to choose any category that fits your budget so that we can support, we can continue to do these outreach activities, we can build an elaborate outreach activity which is continuous, build capacity on the ground, at the same time ensure we have an elaborate exhibition. We want to have at least 1,000 exhibitions next year, 3 or 4 times bigger than what we're going to do this year. And this is not only going to be possible without your support. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to conclude and thank you for your great partnership. Thank you for being here today, and we look forward to working with you in days to come. God bless you.
Can we give the boss of YSK another round of applause, please? Thank you very much for that, Collins. Before I re-invite you again to invite our chief guest, I'd like to also acknowledge the presence of representatives from the Ministry of Water and Sanitation, as well as a team that they have come with. I think it's important to note that we think of STEM and we think of maybe the Ministry of ICT and the Ministry of Education, but it's cross-spectrum. There's so many ministries who can be involved. I don't know if they're still in the audience. I saw 1 or 2 leave, but we acknowledge you and we thank you for coming and we appreciate your presence. And I'd like to re-invite Collins. Thank you, Collins. Please hold on. I'd like to re-invite Collins, who will invite our chief guest for the day, the PS, the Principal Secretary for TVET's Ministry of Education, to come and give his remarks. So please, ladies and gentlemen, an extremely loud, the boys at the back, your principal has given permission. Isn't that right, sir? Yes. He's given permission for you to shout out and really, really get excited. So as Collins comes and introduces our guest, and as our chief guest comes as well, let's give them a round of applause as they come. Collins, welcome to the stage. Round of applause for Collins, please. Louder, 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 till he gets here. Thank you, Collins.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinguished honor to invite the chair of Young Scientists Kenya, Dr. Kevit Desai. Please put your hands together.
The Ambassador of Ireland, Her Excellency Quinlan, the Ambassador of France, Her Excellency Costa Manager, the Deputy Ambassador of Spain, Pablo Bielsa, members of the YSK Board, the Director of Consumer Business Unit, Safaricom, Mr. Charles Wanjoy, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, indeed it's a delight for me to be here today to witness this launch, which means so much to this country and so much to our youth. Before I read the CS's speech, and the CS Mogoa wished to be here, but he could not, I'd like to say a few words of how I think how important this is, and more importantly, how important it is that we increasingly get more engaged as private sector, as civil society, as government, as academia, and as students. This is a profound event. It's a remarkable initiative, and you can see the extraordinary gains it's made to date, but the potential that it has with respect to addressing our social, economic, and environmental challenges. And I want to encourage all the young scientists here today and all the schools that have contributed to the science projects that indeed this is one of the most important issues within our country today as we try to address some of our most profound and challenging issues. And many of the projects that we see here today have a direct relationship. And it's this what we try to foster. It's the ideas based on these very unique traits that all our youth have, irrespective of where they come from in the country. And those are the abundance of curiosity, creativity, and resourcefulness, and that energy which is so special. And indeed, these are the very elements that we need to promote as society and verify and create the necessary pathways to promote these to higher levels of application and thereby resolve some of the key issues that we have. Much has been said in terms of the focus of this initiative and the promotion of solutions towards the Big Four priority and the agenda of this country, where in essence we'd like to raise our manufacturing sector GDP from 8.4% to 15% and guarantee 100% food and nutritional security to all Kenyans by 2022 and provide 500,000 affordable new homes. But as young scientists, the ability for us to translate these ideas and these projects into meaningful contributions is there based on your creativity, your innovativeness. And it's this that really not only encourages us as government, but also, more importantly, we'd like to say is the most important contribution that you can make. And science is a very powerful platform, catalyzer, and structure which can promote this transformation. We'd like you to believe that you could be part of our national goals with respect to manufacturing, with respect to food and nutrition, where we're trying to address a 20% reduction in malnutrition among children under 5 years of age, where the goals are to ensure that 50% reduction is achieved in the number of food insecure Kenyans, or reduce by 47% the cost of food as a percentage of income, create 1,000 new enterprises, achieve 34% increase in average daily incomes of farmers, as well as increase by 48% the agricultural sector contribution to the GDP. And seeing all these projects today by various schools like the Nakuru High School, the Energy Project, we have to appreciate the promotion of science in the value addition process is enormous. In the case of pyrethrum, for example, the addition of science increases the value, the intrinsic produce value by 25 times. And in all cases, the various levels of production and processing increase the intrinsic value by at least 5 times. And so this really is the solution. This promotes the greatest possibility of solutions to some of our national challenges. The young person who developed an energy system is directly related to not only the SDGs, but increasingly the plight of this country at this moment, where we need to conserve more energy to be more productive, innovative, and efficient, and has a direct relationship to application. The automated greenhouse by Maryhill School is also a direct relationship with respect to enhancing levels of productivity, innovation in our value chains. As a country, we're going to focus on specific areas of food crops, from wheat to agricultural produce, fruits, and various other forms of produce. But increasingly, it'll all depend on some of these ideas that we witness today within the exhibition. The tech system, too, with respect to analyzing our behavior, not only as children, but also as adults, and the implications of technology on us, has a profound contribution to our understanding and our further development. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to encourage you all to participate more. There is a saying in the school, and I'd like to hear it from those that saw it, I'd like to hear from you. What is the saying from Jamhuri High School? What is your motto? Never, effort unending. And so let us connect that as all individuals today, your leadership skills, your ability to
Both think you're awesome.
galvanize resources, the ability to create partnerships, so that as much as we're building capacity in the national system, we see to it that we develop this capacity to achieve opportunity and create an abundance of opportunity with respect to applications and the ability to ensure that many of these ideas are implemented, not only in government, in private sector, in civil society, and in schools too. And I think that this would be transformative. It'll certainly create the euphoria, and it'll promote a huge encouragement to our youth, which is much needed to keep driving science forward and having hope that science provides tremendous solutions for our development. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to now read Professor George Magoa's speech, and he'd like to say this. Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, following statistics from 2019-2020, the placement results by the Kenya Universities and College Central Placement Services, CUPS, I'm happy to report that there has been a rise in the number of students enrolling for science, technology, engineering and mathematics and agriculture courses compared to their courses by 64%. A total of 57,687 students shall pursue STEM-related courses in 2019-2020 placement, a significant rise from previous years. The STEM uptake in Kenya, although improving, has not attained the desired level. According to the 2017-2018 Universities Placement Report by the Kenya Universities and College Central Placement Services, CUPS, of the 62,851 placed students, 28,135, which equates to 44.76%, were placed on STEM courses compared to 34,716, which equates to 55.24%, joining humanities. Of these joining STEM courses, 8,979, which equates to 31.91%, were female, while 19,156, which equates to 68.09%, were male. This will help researchers generate the best way to harness technology in the realization of food security, agriculture, universal healthcare, and housing. If properly implemented, this will lead to the realization of 10 SDG goals out of 17. The Sustainable Development Goals are the blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Programs and projects that are lined up within the Big Four agenda in the area of agriculture and food security, if implemented, will go a long way. I'm happy to note that the YSK programs are streamlined to achieving the Big Four agenda. With the support of my ministry, together with the Government of Ireland, through the Embassy in Nairobi and Safaricom by Blaze, Young Scientists Kenya was formed to inspire students to take STEM and pursue the STEM pathways through outreach, linkages, extension programs, and organize a national STEM platform that enables students to showcase their scientific research technologies and innovations and create linkages for further research and commercialization. By making STEM education interesting and accessible to all students, it'll spur the youth in Kenya to innovate and seek sustainable solutions to societal challenges. There are huge opportunities for Kenya. In its second year, having been launched in July 2017, Young Scientists Kenya has been able to scale up the pilot outreach program from 10 counties in 2018 to all 47 counties in 2019, reaching a total of 235 secondary schools and more than 45,000 students across the country. This has led to the establishment of structured links with other STEM initiatives in the country and the planning of the second national exhibition, which reflects this expansion. Young Scientist Kenya is creating a movement in Kenya where youth are encouraged to be creative, innovative, sparking the new leaders and employers of tomorrow. Young Scientist Kenya was formed to encourage uptake of technology and science subjects, tapping into the wealth of talent in secondary schools by popularizing science and technology through avenues such as the National Exhibition and mentoring opportunities. Through the activities of Young Scientist Kenya, particularly the National Science and Technology Exhibition, business, industry, academia, civil society and government are brought together to create partnerships that will undoubtedly play a significant role in grooming the next generation of innovators. In discussions with the Ministry of Education, the Young Scientist Kenya rollout plan has been discussed and agreed on in a way to add value to the Kenya Science and Engineering Fair and other similar initiatives across the country, which has for the last 54 years coordinated the only science co-curriculum activity for Kenyan schools. The Secondary Schools Science Congress, now known as the Kenya Science and Engineering Fair, KESEP. YSK Science and Technology Exhibition is the premier platform that brings together winners of all STEM competitions together and provide linkages with the private sector for commercialization of some of the viable projects. The upcoming second Young Scientist Kenya National Science and Technology Exhibition is a phenomenal demonstration of creative, innovative and extraordinary capacity of our young people to use STEM to fashion practical and tangible solutions to our daily problems. The exhibition is also an avenue to mentor and nurture a young crop of innovators, engineers and scientists who will contribute significantly to the growth of our economy. I'm equally happy to note that the Young Scientist Kenya exhibition takes place during the National Science Week that is organized by the National Commission for Science and Technology and Innovation, NACOSTI, so as to maximize on the resources and the impact. These efforts are all adding value to the Ministry of Education's plans to host the next Einstein Forum in March 2020. This initiative mirrors the government's efforts to invest in the uptake of STEM subjects across the country. Through the rollout of STEM model schools in all 47 counties, it will also create linkages and opportunities for partnership with academia, government, private sector, and non-state actors to further enhance the uptake of STEM, as well as the investment and commercialization of projects displayed at the exhibition. The YSK STEM exhibition is in tandem with the Ministry's policy to broaden access to quality education and to invest in making STEM subjects accessible, relevant, and attractive to all, particularly girls. Past data indicates that the percentage of girls who choose to study STEM subjects in higher education range between 25 to 30% compared to 45 to 55% for boys. Yet girls have the capacity and qualifications to enroll into STEM courses. As you may recall, the Ministry of Education in 2016 charged the Center for Mathematics, Science, Technology, Education Africa, Semestia, with the responsibility of rolling out the STEM Model Schools intervention program. This was an effort to bridge the skills gap in STEM fields by increasing the percentage of students pursuing STEM-related courses. The Ministry is in the process of increasing the STEM Model Schools, at least 588 in the following categories: 102 existing STEM Model Schools, 69 county in-service education and training INSET centers, 70 national schools, 10 special needs education schools, 290 day schools, 1 per constituency, and 47 teacher schools. This means increased financial allocation for this purpose. Thanks to Semestia and other partners to establish a national STEM learning ecosystem community of practice. This ecosystem will bring all partners involved in STEM activities, such as museums, libraries, incubations, hubs, others together to intensify STEM efforts for maximum impact. Finally, I'd like to thank our partners, particularly Safaricom, for working with the Centre for Intellectual Property and Information Technology Law and Strathmore Law School to create legal awareness in the field of intellectual property to safeguard the innovations of our youth. In addition, because of the supporting the YSK research team with a grant of 30 million to visit 235 schools in 47 counties, to sensitize others on STEM education. I also acknowledge the technical and financial support from the Irish Embassy in Kenya, specifically the Ambassador Fionnula Quinlan, for her continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, he ends by thanking you all very much. Now I'm told to wait, yes? Yes, okay, fine.
Can we give our CS a round of applause, please? The PS and this Cabinet Secretary on his behalf. Thank you very much, Dr. Kevin. No, I'd like to ask you to remain.
All right.
I'd also like to invite to the stage the Vice Chair of the Young Scientist Kenya Board, Dr. Rugut, as well as the National Director for Young Scientist Kenya, Collins Munene. Can we give them both a round of applause? What we are doing right now, why we have them here, is we want to officially unveil our official attire for the National Science and Technology Exhibition of 2019. A round of applause for that. This is a big deal. So if I have our camera people ready, are you guys on cue? Okay, they are ready. Let's welcome our stars of the day, the MCs from Toto News, as they hand over the official T-shirt. Okay. There's the T-shirt. Okay, round of applause. But there's another one that's coming. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, can we give them a round of applause as they do that? Louder, because you don't know this, but latest technology shows that when you clap in a photo, it actually appears in the photo as well. So give them a round of applause. We will know it, we will hear it, it will come through all the way. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. I'd like to add to Dr. Rugut still wants to take a few more photos. Perhaps even you can put it on now, Dr. Kevin Desai, if you're... No, okay, not now then. Thank you very much. No, if you would like to, but yeah, we won't force that on you at the moment. Oh, he's doing it. A round of applause for Dr. Kevin Desai, our Principal Secretary, State Department, Ministry of Education. Oh, okay. Perfect fit. A perfect fit. A round of applause, please, for Dr. Kevin Desai, Principal Secretary and Chairman of the Young Scientist Kenya Board. Do we have a photo of that? Okay. I hope you didn't take photos of it over his head. That can get us in trouble later. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, kids. Now, I'd like to ask Collins, if I can ask you to remain, Dr. Rugut as well. Our Bona PS, if you can remain as well. And allow me to invite to the stage the Ambassador, Your Excellency, Ambassador Quinlan, if you can join us on the stage. If I can also have on the stage Cypros from Nururuno Girls High School. She is a representative of one of the winning projects last year where they talked about statistical analysis of crime within Mathare and found some amazing insights. Round of applause for her, please, as she comes. Malavika from SCLP Samad School, which their project was an interesting one. They found out that all the shorthand we're using texting, where instead of writing Y-O-U, you write the letter U, or R instead of A-R-E. They actually found, and I asked her before this, she said that this is to prove her father wrong. They actually found that that does not affect grammar at all, negatively, in primary school students. Who would have known? Round of applause for her. She comes. We also have Melanie from Mary Hill. And her project was an automated greenhouse, something that we definitely need now, and we'd love to see what she does. Here she appears in 3, 2, 1. Round of applause for Melanie as well. I'd like to re-invite the chairman of the board of Young Scientists Kenya as well to the stage. And last but not least, our 2 winners from last year, Wilson Irungu and Abdurrahman Sheikh. Their project was a mouthful, internet-based energy monitoring and audit management system. And here they both come, round of applause. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we are doing now let's see, do we have a full panel? No, we do not, because of course we need our premium platinum sponsor, Safaricom. Bwana Charles, karibu to the stage. Round of applause for him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we are doing now is we are going to hand over a trophy to the principal secretary, and he is going to hand it over to the national director. And this trophy will signify the official launch of the 2019 Young Scientists Kenya National Science and Technology Exhibition. So this is the moment we have been waiting for. A round of applause for that. Oh, wow. To help us do this, we have our very own Vanessa. And of course, some of our young students from Mtoto News. That is Upendo and Mishire. Ooh. Okay, now, Dr. Desai. We have confetti that is going, so please don't be alarmed when you see paper flying around. We have confetti that we have. Thank you very much for that. Round of applause for our young stars here. Okay, so, I want one Young Scientist Kenya student. Just put your hand on that so that we all have. And Dr. Rugut, if you can represent the Young Scientist Kenya board. There we go. So this is technically the official handover. Aha. Now, Dr. Desai, I'm going to ask you to say something after me, and that is the cue for the confetti. So if all of you can get ready, give us a bit of drum rolls. I want you to repeat after me. I officially launch. Okay, no, let me say it first. We're not swearing you in. There's no need to worry about that. It's just, I officially launch the National Science and Technology Exhibition 2019. Oh, there's a mic coming for him. Fantastic. Okay. Will you be able to hold the mic? Yes, you will. Great. Are we okay with our photos? We're okay? Great. Everybody is ready for this? Okay, so I'm going to ask him to repeat after me. Get ready. I apologize, Madam Ambassador. There'll be confetti on your hair in a few moments. I officially launch the National Science and Technology Exhibition 2019.
I officially launch the National Exhibition 2019.
Hey, round of applause, please. Hey, okay. Round of applause, everybody. Round of applause. Please, let's make some noise. Let us make some noise. Thank you. Let's pose for a few photos, a few messy photos, 1 or 2, and then we can go back to our seats. Just one. Shake it off. Fantastic, Mishare. Okay. I think we look good. I think you can now just hand it over to Collins, who will take it back to our office and remind us every day that we have so much work to do before August the 6th. Round of applause for them, please. I told you, the photos will pick up our sound. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause as they make their way to the seats. As they make their way to the seats. Round of applause, please, for, I apologize for that, Collins and Charles and Madam Ambassador. It's Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A round of applause for Collins as he holds our trophy high in the air. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, we are essentially at the end of our program, but we felt it would be a disservice to all of you if you didn't have an opportunity to interact with some of our speakers and with YSK at a higher level. Therefore, we are going to have a very, very, very brief Q&A session. How this will work is we will have a mic that will be on that side of the hall, held up by Omar. Omar, there he is. So if you have any questions, he will be looking out for them, and he will get them. On the other side, we have our young lady, Karen, who also has a microphone. Any questions on this side, my right side, your left side of the tent, she will pick them up. Allow me to re-invite to the stage our key members of this entire Young Scientist Kenya initiative, and that is Her Excellency Ambassador Quinlan. If you would kindly join us on stage, the Chairman of the Board, Dr. Kevin Desai, and Principal Secretary, okay, I'll let him finish that, Mr. Charles Wanjohi. A round of applause, please, for the Ambassador as she comes to the stage. Thank you. Thank you. You can have a seat. If I can have the Principal Secretary, Dr. Kevin Desai, to join us as well. Thank you, Charles. Please have a seat. And naturally, the National Director of Young Scientists Kenya. So, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to ask them any questions that you have. We want to keep this session brief. Tell us who you are directing your question to, so that they can actually pick up the question and answer it for you. And from there, we shall pick up and continue on with our session. So do we have any questions on the floor? Please raise your hands if you do have a question for our panel so that they can answer them. Any questions? If we have no questions, or we do have a question. Okay, where is the question? Thank you.
Hi. My question is directed to the Ambassador of Ireland. I want to ask, how did you get motivated to start Young Scientists?
Young Scientists Kenya? That's a great question. Ireland has had a Young Scientists competition for more than 50 years, and I guess we've seen the value of the competition in terms of getting young could help